So we're going to be making an animated face in After Effects. We're going to learn how to animate eyes, do blinking, and also animating a mouth. So let's go ahead and make a new composition, and we can just stick with the default settings. I have mine at 1920 by 1080px. Your duration doesn't have to be super long, but it just depends on what you want your character to say. I'm just going to keep mine at 10 seconds, and I can always increase that later. From here, we need to import the assets that we want to work with. There's a bunch of stuff you can choose from. There's eyes, faces, and mouths that you can pick. So I picked a hamburger, so I want to import. Make sure you import as a composition. So here's my little hamburger. I can just drag and drop that in. I'm going to add eyes and also a mouth, so we'll bring that in as well. Here are my eyes, and we can just bring both of those in. There are two layers to this one. We have the whites of the eyes and the pupils, so there's that. And then I also have the mouth. And this mouth, we're just going to bring in that entire composition. So rather than selecting and dragging in each individual layer here, we're just gonna drag in that entire composition. And we can place that as well. Now don't worry about the mouth quite yet. I know that they're all just overlapping each other. We're gonna start with the eyes, and then we'll do the mouth later. So I want to first add a background to this because my eyes are white and you can't really see them that well with the white background. I'm going to drag it to the back. That's just a simple rectangle that I use for the background. And once we get that done, we can lock it down. We don't need to mess with the background anymore. Now I'm going to be working with the eyes. So I have the pupils in a layer and I have the whites. What we want to do is animate these pupils and make them look around, but we want it to stay within the eyeball. So what we're going to have to do is create a mask. So here's the background of the whites. We're actually going to copy this, Control C, Control V, paste it, and I'm going to put that above. So I have two layers for those whites, they're duplicate. And then when we go into pupils, we're going to mask this inside of our white layer. So first you want to make sure that your mode, it has the track matte. So if you see this, you can just click on this little button at the bottom, toggle switches / modes. We'll click on that so we can see the track matte drop down. We'll click the drop down from none and click alpha matte whites. So now when those pupils move around, it will stay inside of the eyeballs. So now we can start to animate those pupils. I'm going to open up this menu. If we want it to start in the center, we can just put in a position keyframe for that. In the middle here, I can start moving my eyes around. So maybe I'll make them look up. And then maybe stay up for a little bit. I'm going to copy and paste that. So he's looking up. Then maybe make him look down or over. You can kind of decide where you want to go from here. But in the end, I want it looking back in the center or wherever that original position was, just so it can have a seamless loop. The last thing I can do is I'm going to highlight all these frames. I want it to have an easy ease in and out. So I'm going to right click these, down at the bottom, keyframe assistant, and then easy ease. So that's going to make it so it eases in and out of those transitions. Next, I'm going to have them blink a few times. So I'm going to open up the panel for the whites, and what we're gonna change is the scale. So we can just put a keyframe in for the scale, and a blink will be about 6 to 8 frames depending on how fast you want it to be. So I'll just go over, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna count 6 frames over and put in another keyframe. Now in this middle here, we want the scale to come all the way down so it closes, and then it will come all the way back up to 100%. So I just want to be working with the second number, which is the Y. I don't want to be changing the X. So I'm going to unlink both of these and put these both at 0. So I can just click on that number, hit 0 and 0. So that's going to be animating them both at the same time. And there we have it. So we could just, now that we have that blink done, we can copy it and paste it into other areas. So next, let's animate the mouth. So I'm going to open up, this is a composition. So if I double click it, I can edit all of just the mouths in a separate window. So we can see both our compositions down. This is our main one, and here is our mouth. So first thing we want to do is trim all of these down to exactly 1 second. To do that, we're going to select all of our layers. We're going to put the playhead at 1 second, and then hit Alt and then the right bracket. We'll be moving these, so each mouth is going to cover just a second. Now this is our reference here. At 1 second, or I guess it's 0 to 1 seconds, we're going to see this mouth, and from 1 to 2 seconds we're going to see this one. So if you want to snap a picture of this, take a screenshot, or you can just open this back up and reference it. This will tell you when specific mouths appear, and we'll need to know that because as we come into the composition here, we're going to specify which mouth we want to be using based on the time that they show up. So we're going to right click, go to time, and then enable time remapping. And from here we can specify time. So these second set of zeros, if I were to put 3, for example, then the mouth that shows up between 3 and 4 seconds is going to pop up. So I'm going to be going to, I believe it's 6 seconds. I think I want this to be my default mouth. So I will leave it at 6 seconds. And then I think I'm going to have him say hello is probably going to be an E maybe. So I could go with 10. Let's see what that one looks like. I think that one's good. So between 9 and 10 is what we'll be working with. So just one keyframe over from that one, we're going to be putting in 9. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Hello. Put in another frame. The second one I want it to be an L. So the L is going to be on 9. L. So between 8 and 9, so I'll put this at 8. Oh, where's my little guy? There we go. Okay, we're going to put this at 8. Enter. Let that sit for a little bit. Keep that at 8. Feels a little slow, so I can adjust the timing on that. So there's the L, and then I want this last one to be O. I'm going to go back to here. It looks like it's between 5 and 6 seconds. So I'm going to put this at 5. And I'll let the O sit for a little longer. Keep it at 5, put in another frame, and then he can go back to the default mouth. So I can just put that at 6 seconds back to the normal mouth. Hello. It's a little slow, but you can adjust the timing on that. And that's basically how you do it. It takes some time, but you'll get quicker at it. But the time remapping really speeds up the process and makes it feel less overwhelming to have all of those layers in your main composition. So we're going to add some text. And we could put it inside of a little quote box. If you want to make one, you can. You could just do it quickly with the pen tool. Alright, so there's my quote, my text box. Now I want this text to gradually appear like it's being typed out on a typewriter. So I'm going to open up the text animation panel. We're going to hit this little arrow right here and click character offset. From here where it says animator 1 next to that, we're going to add a opacity, and we can just bring this down to 0. Now let's open up range selector, and I'm going to put in a keyframe with the start at 0%, and when he starts talking right here, I'll put in another keyframe. Once he starts talking is when we want to start typing out the hello. So I'm gonna put it where it ends and change this to 100%. So now that's being typed out. Now you can see that it kind of changes opacity gradually. We want it to be a little more choppy so it looks like it's being typed. So I'm going to open up this advanced and change the smoothness right here to 0%. And there we have it. You can make any adjustments from here, but that is how you animate a face.